Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Apple series. My name is Pullein and today I thought I would take you through a genuine project that I did at the end of last year. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you're new to this channel, I recently moved house and office. All this is new. Now, in order for me to manage the house move and the office move, I needed to hold a lot of information within some kind of application, whether that be Notes or Task Manager. Now, my system involves all my project materials and ideas and notes being stored in my Notes app and my tasks being stored in my Task Manager. And what I wanted to do today was take you through that project and show you how I built it. So hopefully it will give you some ideas on how you can utilize Apple Notes for your very own projects going forward. Now, before we go any further, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this episode, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using Apple's productivity tools, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's go into my Apple Notes now and I'll show you how I built the project in Apple Notes. Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this real project that I did last December was because the reality of project development is not clean and tight that you might see on other people's YouTube channels. They make these notes look beautiful and well organized, but the reality is in the day-to-day rushing around of developing a project, no project folder is ever going to look so beautiful. And that's why I really want to show you this genuine project that I had back in December 2021, which was my house and office move. Now, I had as one note, one folder called 2021 House Move. And we knew it was going to be roughly around December that we would be doing it. There was a bit of umming and ahhing, but this note began when we made the decision that we were going to move house and I was going to move office back at round about end of September, early October. I developed the note. Now, the thing was, as I did that, I started deciding, okay, this is what I really want to do, is to get some inspiration. So I created a note, and if you can see the date of this one, actually, it's the 26th of September. So I collected a website that had 30 home office designs that truly inspire, because I wanted some inspiration about building my own office. And up here at the top, I managed to get the pictures of the office before it was complete. So this is what it looked like in October. So I knew in October this was going to be my space. And I put the images in here to sort of give me that idea of what I was playing with. So we've got up here, which is going to be the kitchenette, if you like. It's just a small kitchen. So I knew I had a place to make my coffee and tea. This was to be the main office area, so I could see that I had a gap in this little alcove here for my desk. There's going to be the TV here. This goes out onto a nice big terrace, and I thought, oh great, I can put a sofa here. This is a storeroom where the boiler is, and so on. And then down here is the entranceway. So this is like the foot. This is where we put shoes. And down here was the bathroom is there, and then there is the studio. This was to become the studio. Now, it's not ideal because I have this great big closet here, but I realized that where I'm recording this right now is in this little corner here, which I've put in some acoustic panels, and over here I could imagine putting in a big green screen, which I did. Now, just to show you what the end result was, I took this picture this morning. This is the main office area. We now have a light fitting up there. You can probably just see the French windows here that go out onto the terrace. The sofa is here, coffee table, there's a rug, there's my TV, and then my desk, computer, and this is where I do my work every day. And it's fantastic. I didn't take a picture of the studio because it's a bit boring as a studio. It's just an empty space with acoustic panels and a table. So I'd actually sketched out some ideas. Now this was right back in September, so well before I moved house. And this note I pinned. So you can see that basically my ideas back in September turned out to be pretty accurate. I didn't really change anything once I'd made that idea. I mean, there was things like color schemes and so on that I wanted to think about, which turned out to be navy blue and white. But those things were just sort of like, they just came up. So what really happened then was I started developing my office purchase list, because although I had a number of pieces of equipment, I decided I needed to create a list for all my office purchases items. So I started off with must-haves and would like to haves. I actually got a Dyson vacuum cleaner for Christmas. Thank you very much to my wife for that. I absolutely love it. I got my picture frame from Barney, which was also actually another gift from my wife at Christmas. And here was my must-haves, and I got all these sorted. I needed a small refrigerator, the curtains, light strips and stuff like that. So all those were actually organized and purchased. And then here would like to have. So the only thing that's left on the actual list now is a human scale chair, which I'm not in any rush to change. So these items here, these were the most active notes that I had throughout the project. And so I pinned these notes, which is why they're at the top. Now down here was essentially what I would describe as my research materials. These are the places that I would go to dump ideas. So I've got my Colombo is the name of my computer. And I decided I don't actually need, or certainly don't need right now, a USB hub, because the new MacBook Pros have enough ports. Transfer funds for Strangways. Strangways was the name of my previous computer. I always name my computers. It's been ever since I got my first Mac back in 1997. Everyone has had a name. I renamed the home folder, and I actually did all that, investigate the best way to attach external monitor to MacBook Pro. That was to do with cables. And then going down, office curtains, when we're going to this. Now, this is a really good example. I needed to make a record of for the curtains and the blinds for the studio. I needed the dimensions so that when we're going to the hardware stores or the Home Depot stores, I had these to hand. Absolutely fantastic, because using Apple Notes, you've got instant search from your phone, and all I needed to type in was office curtains, and this note would come up. I got the dimensions for my sofa. Again, I needed to know how wide the sofa could be, because there's a small gap to get through. This was for the pet portraits. This is for the picture of Barney, who sadly passed away last October, and I wanted a picture of him in my office, which I do have. And then there was just going down here, we're just grabbing, again, ideas for desk accessories, although most of this I didn't buy in the end because I wanted a very minimalist approach, but they were always here. Human scale chair is right there, so if I do, when I'm ready to buy, I can just go in and get the human scale, or find out the pictures. This, I have some rugby shirts from my favorite team. This is an idea that I want to do for the studio. And then my strip lights that I decided to get, and HomePod Mini for the office. And so all these things were just collected over a period of 2 or 3 months. Now, one of the things that I didn't need to do was adding any of this to my task manager. Yes, it was a project, but I'm moving office. I mean, it's not something I need to be reminded of. Once we knew the date we were moving, that became the project. And my calendar really was the main thing, which was, today we are moving house. Block the calendar. I don't want to be doing work on that day. So essentially, this project, this home and office move, was all managed directly from my Apple Notes. And it was brilliant because it was so easy to use Siri to sort of ask to show me my 2021 house move note, and she would open it up and I would get all these up here. And it was just absolutely brilliant that it was so fast, so mobile. And it was this project that ultimately led me to start moving away from Evernote, because Evernote is just not that fast when you're using an iPhone and you're moving around from department store. I could do search while I was waiting in a coffee shop for something and just add websites to this note. It was this folder. It was so easy. So if you're thinking about how to manage and develop projects inside a Notes app, there is no real template that you can use because each project is different. If this was, say, a work-related project that was really heavy on email, this area down here, which is essentially the research area, this would be full of email notes that maybe I thought this has got key information. I'm going to keep that email in here. What I do is I copy and paste. I don't just link in the email. I just want to see it all together. When you copy and paste, you can group things together and you can create master lists from this. Much of the time, you don't need a lot of stuff in your task manager like next actions, because when I'm working on my home project here, I was in this note. I didn't need to be in my task manager going back and forth. Likewise, a project like recording an online course, once I'm in the note, once I'm in the project note, that has got all the information I need. I don't need to be going back and forth to my task managers to think, okay, what's the next action? All I need my task manager to do is say, work on this project, and then come here and do the work. It's right there in front of me. So I hope this has given you some inspiration about how you can use Apple Notes to build out projects, to create and collect your research materials, and then use the pinned notes up at the top to have the key information, because these were the key information. I needed to keep going back to these images here when I was thinking of color schemes, because things like the door frames here, they are in black. Now, I needed to be reminded of, would it work with my ideal color scheme? And the kitchen, this is a gray, like marble top effect topping. So I wanted to make, I didn't really want necessarily to have a white kettle. I wanted a black kettle. There was things that I wanted to do that would actually help and complement the color scheme. And at this stage, when I got these images, which I had for about 2 months, I didn't know the color of the floor. As you can now see in the finished episode, the floor is white, like ash wood effect. I don't think it's real ash, but it's really nice. So I've got this blue carpet under my desk, and this carpet here has blue edging. So it's all color themed in blue, which is actually my favorite color. You may have noticed. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this episode. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you for watching this video. Now, I'm very excited to tell you that the 2022 edition of my Create Your Own Apple Productivity System course is now available. This year, we're utilizing the brand new features in reminders and notes. We're going to be looking at how you can use the tags to create an even better productivity system. We're also looking at how iCloud comes into the picture and your calendar. This is a complete productivity and time management setup that, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, I can guarantee is going to make your life so much easier. No more overwhelm, no more stress, no more forgetting events or tasks. It's all going to be there in your own system that I show you how to build. It also includes the time sector system and my brand new notes organization system, Capra. Okay, I hope you get time to join this course. And don't forget, if you're already enrolled in this course, my promise to you is every year it's a free update. I hope you enjoy the course, and it'd be lovely to see you in there.